Yuba-Sutter.live's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self-Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com.
Thank you this morning. As we come together to strategize, we come together to learn, to listen, and to hear one another. We thank you, Lord, for wisdom that we were here today. As we present these challenges, there's nothing too great that we can overcome together. Thank you for your grace and thank you for your mercy today. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Oh, please. Join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
All right, we'll do roll call.
Supervisor Vasquez?
Here.
Supervisor Blazer is absent. Supervisor Fuhr?
Yes.
Supervisor Bradford?
Here.
Supervisor Messick?
Here.
Thank you.
And I'm going to entertain, I'm sorry, would we like to do public comment on consent? Otherwise, I'm going to entertain a motion.
Yes.
Open public comment for consent. Anyone? No? Excellent. Motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried. We're going to go to, is it special presentations?
Correct.
Excellent. Whoever our special presentation is. Community Development Services. Don't run up here too quick. Mike, did you get stood up by someone? You can make it shorter than normal then. Delay? I will be happy to delay special presentations. Let's go then to public communication. Do we have anything today?
Yes, we do. We actually have two. I will go ahead and read it first. And it is any person may speak about any subject of concern, provided it is within the jurisdiction of the Board of Supervisors and is not already on today's agenda. The total amount of time allotted for receiving such public communication shall be limited to a total of 15 minutes, and each individual or group will be limited to no more than 3 minutes. Prior to this time, speakers are requested to fill out a request to speak card and submit it to the clerk of the Board of Supervisors. Please note, no board action can be taken on comments made under this heading. And through the chair, we do have two cards. First one we have is John Sullivan.
Please, John.
Hello again. How you doing?
Good.
It's hard to burden you. Yeah, I'm John Sullivan, third and fourth generation native California-born American family. And we're standing our ground. Again, I'm here to talk about AB 1346. It's a tyrannical law. You walk into a Lowe's or Home Depot or anywhere that's got mowers, and basically all you see is electric mowers. It's all based on junk science. I've said again and again and again, 250 tons of the Earth's crust has to be disturbed just to get enough for one battery for one EV car. In my industry, I'm a carpet cleaner. I shut my business down in September. I saw this coming, but it's criminalized the businessman for even owning an internal combustion engine, and that day is coming. So they tried even electric motors to the carpet cleaning truck mounts in the past, back in the 80s, and even using two 110 outlets, it wasn't enough, and it became a tangled messes with the hoses and the high pressure lines. So the electric motor or the battery operated, there's no option. So the only option is going to send it back, the carpet cleaning industry, back into the early 70s, late 60s, when there was portable cleaning machines. And when the ground's mineralized, since it's based on a soft water process that's built into the van, it will not work. So all these people that want these laws, these rich people don't care. They're going to have to take their carpets out back and beat them over a line with a stick. I'd like to see Nancy Pelosi or Mark Broman do that. That day is coming. These people are just ideologues, and it's all to get China filthy rich. And this is something where they're destroying the earth, massive chunks out of the earth. And apparently it's not news that matters or news that comes first. It's just news right here, right now. A simple Google search will confirm everything I'm talking about. Yeah, that's about all I got. You know, my business is gone, and I'm not coming back. I will not bring it back. This O'Leary guy in New York, when he called out New York for this kangaroo court that happened out there, this is the same thing here. There's nobody in the right mind would start a carpet cleaning business and buy multiple trucks and machines and try to get going in California, knowing that the internal combustion engine is under attack. So we need to make Yuba County, Sutter counties a sanctuary county for the internal combustion engine, stand our ground, make history, and just let the chips fall as they go, because this is just an ideological agenda. It's not based on any kind of save the earth. They don't care what they're doing. And they just want communist totalitarian control over we the people. Thank you very much. You have a nice day.
Thank you.
Next person we have is Tony Farley.
Go get him, Tony.
Tony Farley, South, you see South Hyde Park area. I see Seth, and now chairman now, the diversity guy. Thank you for service, diverse guy. Thank you for service, Annie Vasquez. Thank you, Gary Bradford, the DC, Sacramento, DC. Thank you, John Mist, the farmer. Thank you, Janet Bender, former Sacramento County employee, now Yuba County employee, also UPCN. And thank you, Kevin, Commissioner, also called Chief Saxon, the Mercy Department. Here, thank the Sheriff's Department, Under Sheriff, and the Sheriff, and also the Lieutenant over there. Here, thank the Probation Department. Here, thank Tony. I saw him at the ice cream place on the 4th of July. Here, thank two Rachels, one media, one community development. Here, thank Dr. Liu. Thank you for your service.
Thank you, Tony. Do we have any other public comment? All right, we'll move back to our special presentation. Better late than never, Rachel.
In her defense, she was here about 8:30.
You appreciate you. Yes, I apologize. I was fighting with the printer to prepare my notes for you. So pull this up. There we go. All right. Good morning, Supervisor Fearher and members of the board. I'm very excited to share with you our quarterly development update. I know in some of the past meetings, your board has shared that this is certainly one of the exciting times to kind of go through everything that's happening in community development and also recognize not only the private landowners and the developers that are investing in Yuba County, but also our staff that is working so diligently. Those emails are flying, those meetings are happening, that counter is being very well taken care of, and they are working very hard in making sure that all of our residents and our businesses, our developers are getting the answers that they need so that these projects can continue to move forward as quickly as possible. So just as a reminder for anybody that's not familiar with this presentation, we're going to go over some of the namely projects that are happening through all of community development. This time, planning, building, public works, and then the airport, and then some new stuff from our business development team as well. Oh, I didn't hit share the screen. Sorry. Technology is on my side this morning. I'm so sorry. Here we go. There we go, Mary. Did I do it? Okay. All right, we're off to the races here. So, straight out of our business development team, one of the first things I want to share with you is a new business welcome packet. Is that better?
Perfect.
Okay.
That'll work.
Okay, so new business welcome packet. for new or expanding businesses in Yuba County. And the reason why is that we often find, I know myself has experienced this, I believe that many in our community development department, I've heard this from our recorder's office and even our tax collector's office with business licenses, et cetera. Businesses often come in and are asking, what else am I missing? What am I not thinking of? And they will come and ask one department, maybe a question that is or is not within their purview, but we're not always sure where to direct them next. And so what we've done previously, and we continue to do, is that we have that one-on-one invitation for a conversation to personally navigate them through every step of the way from inception of their business or project all the way to operations. But we really wanted to encapsulate that roadmap, if you will, into something a little bit more tangible so that we can try to capture these people that are floundering a bit, for lack of a better word, that are struggling, that need a little bit more assistance as early on in the process. So this packet, what you see in the middle is kind of the front and back cover. Those are two actual projects or businesses that are in our county. That's the front and back cover. On the left, you see just a mock-up of what that checklist would look like. I will provide printed copies to not only the board, but also our departments so that you can kind of read through these a little bit more if you like. And then they will also be available on yes2yuba.com as well digitally. And then on the right, what you see is where it says navigating Yuba County. That's kind of a snippet of some of the most common departments that our businesses would interact with. So not only us over in community development, and then kind of going through what is the building department and why do you need to work with them? Well, what is planning and why do they care if you have a barber shop in your home? And then also like our clerk recorder's office, where you would file your fictitious business name, treasurer, tax collector, where you may or may not need a business license. Just kind of running people through 2 or 3 sentences of what are all these departments and why would you need to work with them. So that is our business packet. Again, we'll have those printed throughout the county. I will make them available to your office, and they will also be available online. Next up looks kind of similar, but slightly different content, slightly different audience. We're calling this a development opportunities packet, if you will. This is really focused on what are those industrial opportunities within Yuba County. After spending some time at the Site Selectors Guild in Nashville, Tennessee earlier this year, as well as really building a rapport and a feedback loop with our partners at the Greater Sacramento Economic Council, one of the biggest things I feel like we've taken away from that audience is that there really isn't a quick and easy way to know what are your top industrial sites where you would cite a manufacturing company, potentially a research and development facility, or just more of the, talking to Larry Albaugh at Buzz Oats recently, he was like, well, if our company wanted to build another set of, we all call them kind of jokingly, the buzz boxes, right? The ones over on Skyway, 8,000 square feet. They're continuous boxes. If they wanted to build another development like that, what are your most developable, ready to go properties? And give me a snapshot of how many acres they are, what are they zoned, what's principally permitted, what's the infrastructure that's around it, water, wastewater, power, et cetera. Give me a snapshot of that. And so that's what this document really is. Again, in the middle, you have the front and back cover, and where that reads, and the tagline that we really want to start associating with Yuba County and industrial development is that Yuba County is a place where water, power, and land exist abundantly, with a pro-development culture that prevails. And that is what site selectors are looking for. And that is the tagline that we want to make sure that we already know that that's true. We were talking about that earlier this morning, but we really want to promote that and put that out there to this audience and continue to brand Yuba County in such a way. So on the left, you'll see that we are introducing that yes mindset, that development concierge, that personal touch that we're putting on doing business in Yuba County, as well as introducing our leadership team and the development departments that they would work with. And then on the right, you can see kind of a mock-up of those individual properties. Again, these are just industrial properties. We wouldn't necessarily be featuring commercial or residential development opportunities. And I have spoken with all of the real estate agents or brokers that represent these properties, and they're given very positive feedback about this effort. So those are two new efforts from our business development team I wanted to share with your board. All right, moving on to our planning department. We received a number of new projects this quarter, including 2 design review applications for new subdivisions, North Point and Wheeler Ranch, both in Plumas Lake. Plus, the Plumas Commons Shopping Center continues to show positive progress. I believe I have a map for you here. Developers received approval on the tentative parcel map that was submitted earlier this quarter, and then have also submitted a final map this quarter to continue development on this property. It is worth noting here, you can see kind of the superimposing the surf-through car wash that is actively under building permits in the review process. That's kind of superimposed on where it's intended to be on the property. But really just the noteworthy thing here is this, for those that aren't familiar, it's directly across the street from Costco, adjacent to Walmart and Popeye. So that's Northville Common Shopping Center. We're still seeing progress of this shopping center moving forward with development. All right, moving over to approved projects. Throughout the quarter, we had a number of home-based businesses that received approval, including Dave's Chips, which you may remember from our Yes to Startups program, kind of seeing that one come full circle, which is very exciting. Plus, another business called Coffee and Flowers in Brownsville, who I believe intends on selling at the Brownsville Farmers Market, and then Angie's Sweet Treats in Plumas Lake. So those are a few new home-based businesses. We also continue to see residential growth, both from our building permit numbers, and also here you can see on the slide in front of you the pipeline of subdivisions that are being submitted and approved, including a tentative subdivision track map for Feather Glen 2, a final subdivision map for North Point Village, and a large lot map for Wheeler Ranch North. It is also valuable to note, I believe I have I'll get back to that. So this is the map for Feather Glen 2. Just wanted to pull that up for you. North Point Village. We also wanted to mention that North Point will complete the planned development in Plumas Lake on the east side of Highway 70. This area, once it's built out, once it's built out, it will also provide access to the county-owned property on the north, allowing for the development of potential Little League fields or park, a dog park, and things of that nature, which I believe Supervisor Bradford, your community is very, very much excited about. So we just wanted to comment on that for North Point as well. And then here's the large lot map for Wheeler Ranch North as well. All right. And so, as I mentioned before, we're seeing that continued momentum, continued kind of on par with previous building permit numbers. One of the things that I think is worth mentioning as well is last quarter, we had commented on a slight dip in building permit numbers, and that was something we committed to staying very much on top of and bringing just awareness to that. And so I'm pleased to review these numbers with you. That you can see on the left-hand side, this column right here, this tan, shows that our overall building permits for the quarter are very much on track with the second quarter of the previous years. You can see kind of all of those graphs right there are about even. In the middle, you'll see production home permits issued. You'll be looking at this gray bar. This is, again, kind of on track with the previous quarters of the previous years. And then lastly, over here, this tan, again, you can see that our number of production home permits that have been finalized is about half of the total years past, meaning that we're basically at the end of June, we were on par to reach our kind of running average of 400 homes a year. So a less complicated way of saying that is we're on track with all of our housing numbers. Okay, and so that was kind of an overview of residential building permits. Moving on to commercial building permits. That was also very much in full swing this quarter. You can see that Walmart in Linda has submitted a building permit for a pretty significant remodel, which is under review. Golden State Trailers, which is located in Olivehurst off Skyway, it has expanded with a new office space, as well as Papa Murphy's in Linda is making great progress on relocating their store, relocating their store next to Cloverleaf Market. And a couple other highlights for you. The Sutter Health Clinic in Plumas Lake has broken ground on the shell building, but you will also see on the previous slide, there was a building permit under review for the tenant improvement. So kind of the inside of it. So the electrical, the fire systems, et cetera. So Sutter Health is doing an additional permit that's under review for just the kind of internal workings of this building. And then more excitement over at the Feather River Center. The developers have submitted an application for 3 monument signs along the North Beale Road frontage. The Wendy's here is very near completion, and we anticipate other building permits coming soon. One little asterisk that I do have on this slide is that this signage is a mock-up. This is not necessarily a reflection of the building permits that are active at this shopping center. This is very common to put placeholders on sign permits.
I would like to object to H&R Block being on there. For mock-up purposes can be changed to something else.
Okay, the developers also provide their own mock-ups and whatever brands that they choose on their community development did not place certain businesses and brands on here. And I fully understand what you're saying. So yes, just for the community, we wanted to be very clear that this is just an example of the signage. All right, so moving over to Public Works. Spring and summer, weather permitting, are certainly some of the busiest times for construction and maintenance for our Public Works team. They are actively working on the Safe Routes to School project on Garden Avenue in West Linda and resurfacing in the Edgewater area. And I know that this is a very comprehensive list and there's a lot of details here. So again, just to remind the board, I will print these out and have them available for you. And they also are available digitally if you want to comb through this list later. And same for the public. These are always available afterwards on yestyuba.com if you want to look more through the detailed projects that Public Works is working on. But namely to call out, Public Works also recently completed the construction of a nearly half-mile bike lane that was constructed on the south end of Atherton. I believe that's how you say that, Atherton Way, through a grant with the California Department of Parks and Recreation, contributing to the nearly 5 miles of bike lanes that exist in Plumas Lake. So I believe that was a great event and very excited and well received by the community. And lastly, I just want to touch on the airport. Jason and Kimberly there's never a dull moment over there. Our management team is doing great things at the airport. The two namely things that we wanted to call out, I believe it's also on your board agenda today, to continue forward with the repairing and construction of the new monument signs at the industrial parks. If you haven't seen those in person, they're in a need of a little bit of love, as well as it'll be exciting to see additional signage available on the south end of that property. And then also the 75th anniversary of the airport will be coming up in September. So our team is hard at work starting to put some cornerstones in place to plan for a community celebration. And so we'll have more information on that for not only your board, but the public to come. So that will be in September. Just to wrap it up, again, I want to say thank you to your board and your leadership for allowing all of these projects to continue moving forward, and for all the support that you provide to us as staff, and then to all the staff that are working diligently on keeping these projects moving forward, supporting the developers. So happy to take any questions.
Dude, Chair, you look like you're having so much fun, and always remember, if it's true, it ain't bragging. So don't hold back on anything. A lot of people say we're pushing too hard on what we're doing. Well, yes, we are. Thank you.
I have a comment through the chair. I wanted to give a shout out to that Dave's Chips guy. So I had a fundraising dinner for the Yuba-Sutter Sheriff's Aero Squadron. I got a hold of him. He donated all the chips for our dinner. And I still run into people that are like, where'd you get those chips? They're the best chips we've ever had. But apparently he's still waiting on maybe a state permit before he can actually sell to chips. So hopefully he's gotten that, because it's been a couple months now. But whenever anybody hears when he can actually start selling chips, please let me know.
Okay, I'll double check. I'll follow up with Dave and see how he's doing.
Through the chair, a couple comments. So just echo about the chips. They're absolutely amazing. So maybe we need some at our board meetings or something. So, but also, and to the sign that we don't have any control on, if you can get the developer to remove the asterisk next to Chipotle, that would make me really happy. So, and then thirdly, the new business packet and the development opportunities packet are absolutely amazing ideas and concepts. And so thank you for your leadership on that and your team. I look forward to the benefits that will bring to development in the county. So thanks.
Building on that exact point, I also really like the packets. Some ideas, you'd sent one to me and we had talked about it a little bit. I'd sent you a response, you got it. One other idea is people who are starting out in businesses often have a core idea, but they aren't business people. They're whatever their idea is. And so what you have there for having how they're going to interact with the county, super important. But even above and beyond, which is not something we have to do, but we could do, work with maybe the EDC, a flow chart. There'd be a thing like marketing. Marketing isn't going to involve us, right? But it would be something that's critical and essential for any new business. So I don't know if that's something that would be appropriate for that packet, but just a little flow chart saying, hey, did you hit these elements? Personnel hiring. That's probably not something that the county is going to be involved in, but staffing is a huge thing for starting up business. So either linking them to the EDC or just adding that little flow chart. So we have a punch list for the stuff for the county, great, but something for just in general, their business to flourish and be successful. On the second one, you have a brochure that is going to be able to be used long-term with no changes. So what I'm going to suggest is something that would then require updates, so that may be more work than we want to do. But talking about recent developments, so whether that's Costco or the research center, Citrus, that's going to be coming in. If I see other people going into a location or a geographical area that are being successful, then that creates that follow the herd. That's where the new edge is, right? Everyone wants to go to Silicon Valley because that's where the big successes are. So that's something that would require more effort on our part, because we'd be updating that every year or two with new businesses that have been added and dropping off the old ones. But I think that might be advantageous.
If I can add to what you're saying, just a point of clarification. So on the industrial opportunities packet, if you will, yes, it will be printed for convenience of local, but it will be mostly shared in a digital format, which also allows us as a link. So it will, as those properties either are sold or things change with them, it will be updated and it will be live. And then additionally, to your point about the news, if you will, all of our monthly newsletters are currently on yestoyuba.com/news. And then our intention, which I can bring back to your board once it's completed, is to create more of a blog-esque type of home for those types of articles. So we've started a catalog, an inventory of past articles that have been positively speaking about the county and development, whether it's residential, commercial, industrial, and then we'll be designing an additional page section under that /news that will do exactly what you're speaking to.
Great. And then shifting gears to public works, Friendship Park, super excited about the renovations there, where I don't know that this is probably more of a Button question and not you, but were we able to incorporate any changes for the tea garden that we're doing with the Hmong aspect and part of it?
think I'll defer that one to Sam as he's coming up.
Good morning, Sam Button, Public Works. So I will catch up with the design team to see. I know we got our first kind of iteration of design plans to start reviewing, so I will make sure to touch base with you after.
Awesome. Thank you.
Any other?
Thank you.
Okay, my pleasure. Thank you.
All right, we'll move on to county departments. We have Human Resources, item 405.
Good morning, your board. Tiffany Manuel, Human Resources Director and Risk Manager. As you may recall, at the last board meeting, your board approved labor agreements with 3 of our 5 labor groups, along with resolutions outlining salary and benefits for our unrepresented miscellaneous management, miscellaneous elected, and confidential employees. Well, we've recently finished negotiations with our safety management and supervisory group. So today I'm bringing before your board a request to approve and authorize the chair to sign the memorandum of understanding between Yuba County and the Yuba County Law Enforcement Management Supervisory Association for the term of 3 years, beginning July 1, 2024 through June 30, 2027, as well as a resolution for the same duration, adopting a compensation and benefit summary for the unrepresented safety management unit that has historically followed the safety management group and PPOA salary and benefit structures. So the details of the benefits are included in your staff report, but I'll go ahead and highlight some of the main benefits that are included in the labor agreements and the resolutions. So application of the county's salary survey and compensation study, placing classifications on the applicable range, the cost of living adjustments, which is 3% COLA effective July 1, 2024. And then on July 1, 2025, a 1 to 3.5% COLA based upon the consumer price index. And the same would apply July 1, 2026. Effective January 1, 2025, the county's health insurance contribution will be 100% of the CalPERS Gold employee-only premium and 90% of the CalPERS Employee Plus One and Employee Plus Family premiums. We updated floating holiday accruals from 16 to 24 hours effective July 1, 2024. And also effective July 1, 2024, there were updates to management leave that included applicable classifications receiving a 30-hour one-time adjustment up to a new cap of 60 hours. And then beginning January 1, 2025, employees will accrue management leave earning 5 hours per month up to the maximum of 60 hours. Effective July 1, 2025, the applicable employees will no longer accrue CTO. Effective July 1, 2025, the employees would receive a vacation cap specific to MSA from 384 hours to 484 hours. And then there were some updates to specialty assignment pays. Specific to the unrepresented at-will safety management employees not assigned a county vehicle, they would receive a vehicle allowance in the sum of $500 per month with the approval from the county administrator, and this is consistent with all other at-will employees. In addition to your consideration of the MSA labor agreement and resolutions that I just explained, I'm also requesting your board to approve an amended resolution for the term of July 1, 2024 through June 30, 2027, adopting the compensation and benefit summary for unrepresented elected officials that includes miscellaneous and safety elected officials. At the last board meeting, your board approved this resolution, but it did not include the sheriff. And now that we have an agreement with the safety management group, this amended resolution will include the sheriff classification. And finally, I request your board to approve a resolution amending the county's basic salary schedule and the elected official basic salary schedule effective July 1, 2024 to reflect the applicable salary changes for MSA, PPOA, unrepresented safety units, and the safety elected official as a result of the county's negotiations and compensation study. So I believe that summarizes everything that I have before your board today. I'm happy to take any questions.
Through the chair. Now you got 4 separate motions. Can we do it with one, or do you want 4 motions?
You can do a motion to approve the recommended action.
Okay.
Any other board comment? Any public comment?
Move to approve the recommended actions.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you.
Congratulations on a 3-year term.
Item 409, community development.
Morning, Chair, board members, Craig Herbert, Public Works. So Yuba County was awarded funding from the Yuba Water Agency as well as an active transportation program state-funded grant to design, construct bicycle lanes, sidewalks, crosswalks, curb ramps, curbs, gutters, drainage improvements along Garden Avenue between Riverside Drive and Feather River Boulevard in West Linda. Garden Avenue is currently a 2-lane road that has no curbs, gutters, sidewalks, bike lanes, or drainage improvements. Public Works solicited bids on June 7th of this year. Bids were opened by the staff on June 28th. Public Works recommends the Board of Supervisors award the contract to the low responsible bidder, Layman Construction, for $3,782,930.95 for the Garden Avenue Safe Routes to School project, and authorize the chair to execute upon review and approval of County Council and Risk Management. I'd happy to answer any questions you might have.
Board comment? Public comment?
So moved.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you.
Yes, if you challenge in court the action or decision of the Yuba County Board of Supervisors regarding a zoning, planning, land use, or environmental protection matter made at any hearing described in this notice, you may be limited to raising only those issues you or someone else raised at such hearing or in written correspondence delivered to the Yuba County Board of Supervisors at or prior to such hearing. Public comments will be limited to 3 minutes per individual or group. Our first item we have here is 354-2024, Sheriff Corners. It's an ordinance. Hold public hearing, waive first reading, and introduce ordinance reaffirming Chapter 2.155, adopting a military equipment use policy to Title II of the Yuba County Ordinance Code, and receive military equipment report for 2023.
Good morning, board members. My name is Chad Watson. I'm a lieutenant in operations with the Sheriff's Office. I'm here today to present the annual military use report as outlined with AB 481. Additionally, I'm here to reaffirm the county ordinance and the Sheriff's Department military equipment policy 706, all copies which have been provided to you. The report has been posted on the Sheriff's Department website and a public meeting was held. At this time, there have been no questions regarding the report, and I'm here to answer any questions that you may have.
Board comment? Public comment?
Open the public hearing.
Open the public
please.
hearing. Closing the public hearing.
Waive the first reading and introduce the ordinance reaffirming Chapter 2.155.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed?
We have to have a roll call vote. I think.
Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Vasquez?
Yes.
Supervisor Blazer is absent. Supervisor Fuhr?
Yes.
Supervisor Bradford?
Yes.
Supervisor Messick?
Yes.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
County Administrator.
Morning, Chair, members of the board, Kevin Mallon, County Administrator. So the item before you today was introduced at the last board meeting on June 25th. There was a PowerPoint presentation, but in summary, this is to address uses within the Feather River levee setback area. That setback area was created when the Three Rivers Levee Improvement Authority built a setback levee, opening up roughly 2,000 acres of land that this ordinance would address uses within that area. So I'm happy to answer any additional questions the board may have about this. We'll take it from there.
Through the chair, there have been some public events out there that are requiring us to do this. I understand that to ensure the public safety. Is there a couple of instances you want to mention?
Yeah, so when the item was introduced on June 25th, we've had quite a few calls for service by the Sheriff's Department. There's been continual cleanup needed by Yuba County Code Enforcement. I believe we had a couple members of the public that spoke at the hearing on June 25th. One of them that appeared to be pretty impactful was a farmer who had one of his employees shot while out there on the property, and that it's been problematic for him to continue to farm the property since then. And so, yeah, there was quite a few comments.
So we have farmers out there who are farming that area, and it's in fact private property to a certain extent.
So the farmer that provided comment on June 25th, the orchard that he was referring to is actually on state-owned land where he farms under a lease.
So he's farming under a lease. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Through the chair, just a couple quick comments. At our last board meeting, after introducing the ordinance, the board established an ad hoc committee and we had an opportunity to meet. And I just wanted to share a few things from that ad hoc committee for my fellow board members and the public. So first, I think one key takeaway from that meeting is we talked about how the land between the new levee and the old levee that's owned by Three Rivers Levee Improvement Authority, really all of that land is either in agricultural leases or designated habitat area. And so it's really not available for off-road vehicles or other things that could disrupt habitat and or agriculture that's occurring there. And then between the old levee and the river, that's mostly state-owned. There is a small portion of Three Rivers land that's owned at the very northern end of that. The proposal, I think, so none of it's county-owned land. So I think the proposal is that Three Rivers would put in 3 parking areas and allow access through the setback area to those 3 parking locations where people could park their vehicle and then enjoy the river or enjoy other areas adjacent to the river. And also after the initial ad hoc committee meeting, we also met with 530 Recovery to talk with them about potential opportunities for off-road vehicle or off-highway vehicle access near Yuba County rivers. And we kind of determined that given the limited amount of space in the Feather River setback area, that may not be the best location for that kind of activity to occur. And so we identified an area up near the Goldfields that Supervisor Messick has been working with some partners on, and we will continue to work with all those partners involved to try to make that a reality. So I don't know if Supervisor Messick has anything to add to that, but
we're actually going to meet tomorrow at 9 a.m. and do a tour with the 530 Off-Road Recovery. It looks like it'll be a really good spot to have a park. So that's about all I have to add. We're just waiting for the BLM. Getting and impatiently waiting, I'd say.
I will open the public hearing. I will allow for public comment.
Are you all?
Good.
Hey, we are East Street MX.
Perfect.
All right. Greg Bach, East Street MX. And I just wanted to comment on some of the issues. We have the same kind of problem on our property. And it's the shad pad, and that's been basically resolved, and we did shut it down. The difference is for us now is patrolling, and we patrol, including our neighbors, Wilbur and Smith Ranch. We still have a problem, and if we don't get out there all the time and patrol and protect these properties, we still have the people, not the law-abiding citizens, but people from out of town or people who just cut and trespass and damage property and farmers' property specifically. If we don't do that, the problem persists. And so, for example, right now, across the river from us on the Marysville side, there's encampments already. And Marysville did a great job of cleaning that whole area up. They spent tons of money. But if we don't get out there, and it's not homeless, these are riffraff, people taking advantage of the system. And, you know, I know Marysville's got a great program for homeless, and it's underutilized. Our issue is shutting down Gray's Beach, I think, completely. Does that just leave it open for criminals and riffraff? And that's my only comment. We've been working with the 530 recovery guys. They do a great job in the community. We do community work with them. We've also, they've also helped us. We were talking about some ideas, and we're just throwing this out, but if there was like a community patrol or community access to, you know, locals or organizations like this, would that help alleviate the problem and protect land, protect keep the riffraff out and the garbage, and it's just incredible, the stuff out there. And again, on our property, we took out 180 stolen cars, you know, and it's just, if we don't patrol and stay on top of this, it tends to get out of control again. So I just something to keep in the back of your mind. If it does get closed, I don't know if we open this again, or again, the 530 guys have been great with us. The sheriff's department's awesome. They've done a great job helping us also. I just want you to think about that as an alternative. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Through the chair, do we have a fine for trespassing on these areas?
Yes.
Currently, and if so, what is it? And can we double it or make it a little more expensive?
So if I could, through the chair, I want to make sure that the board and the public understand the proposed ordinance is not to close the area to the public. It's to provide safe access to the Feather River to the public. And so this will be a bit of a multi-step process. So you have the county ordinance, and then you also have an ordinance that's already in effect by the Three Rivers Levee Improvement Authority that outlines how the public can access Three Rivers Levee Improvement Authority properties to access the river. And so if the board takes action to adopt the county ordinance, then Three Rivers Levee Improvement Authority will then take action to update their ordinance to be in alignment with this county ordinance and update locations and routes where the public can utilize Three Rivers Levee Improvement Authority property to drive on, to park at, to walk on, et cetera, hunt on, and be able to safely enjoy that area and access the river.
To the chair again. If there are no consequences for violating this ordinance, we're going to have the same problem that we have.
You want to mention the fine and the vehicle?
Yes. So
confiscation. They're going to confiscate the vehicle.
So if I could, through the chair, so the ordinance has, and that's actually been the issue with the Three Rivers Levee Improvement Authority ordinance. It's been in effect actually since 2016. It has no consequences. There was no enforcement provision within that ordinance. It was more of a, will you please follow these rules?
That hasn't worked at all anywhere in California.
It has not worked, and why we're before you today. And so the county ordinance that's being introduced has an enforcement provision that the sheriff, code enforcement, other law enforcement agencies can enforce. Violation of the ordinance as a misdemeanor, as well as violation of the ordinance can result in impoundment of the vehicle that's violating the ordinance.
There you go.
I think in reference to the comment also, the encampments that are occurring with the colloquial riffraff, that's something that with the, again, change in recent Supreme Court decision would make that even easier to make sure those don't occur, correct?
That would be correct. So this ordinance is a no camping ordinance as well within this area. So but
for the other areas where we already have that, because we already have that in our areas that the gentleman was speaking about, correct?
Are you referring to the shed pet area? Mm-hmm. Unless, let's see, maybe Jeremy would know this, Jeremy Strang with code enforcement, but I'm not sure if our current county ordinances address all of the river adjacent areas.
Everything within the levees.
Yeah, so everything levee to levee, we already have a county ordinance in effect that is no camping, and so this is consistent with the
right. I think that he was merely saying that he would like to see even more patrols cleaning out that area. All right, I will
do the chair. terminology riffraff. It doesn't do it justice. These are people who are willfully destroying our county. And we have to face the fact. It's like just you have to call it what it is, and it's just destroying our property.
If there's no other public comment, I'm going to close the public hearing, and then I will entertain a motion.
I'll move to waive the second reading, adopt ordinance creating Chapter 8.110 of the Yuba County Ordinance Code related to the Yuba County Feather River levy setback area.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Supervisor Vasquez?
Yes.
Supervisor Blazer is absent. Supervisor Fuhr?
No.
Supervisor Bradford?
Yes.
Supervisor Messick?
Yes.
Motion passes. Thank you.
All right. So thank you, board. As far as next steps, as I mentioned when the public hearing was open, the Three Rivers Levee Improvement Authority will now consider an update to their ordinance to ensure that it's very clear within the Trilla-owned lands where the public can access and how, and be consistent with the county adopted ordinance, which will go into effect in 30 days.
Thank you. Mary, correspondence.
Okay, we have one agenda item. It's 410-2024. It's receive annual year-end report for fiscal year 23-24 from the Sutter Yuba Behavioral Health Advisory Board. That is it.
Board and staff member reports.
Got COVID, don't recommend it. That was my experience for the past week.
So a few items. First of all, back on the 4th of July, I enjoyed the annual Plumas Lake bike, trike, wagon, and wheelchair parade that happens in the morning in Plumas Lake. All the kids decorate their bikes and other things that are on wheels, and appreciate the sheriff being there as well as Linda Fire. After that is the Wheatland Community Barbecue and Bingo. I did not win bingo, but I did have a good time and have a nice hamburger. And then a few other things. The 25th was the Plumas Lake Bike Path ribbon cutting. It was a great event. Really appreciate Blue Zones, Public Works, and Health and Human Services being out there. And we had really a great turnout from the community. They really are enjoying that bike path. Yesterday, I helped organize a Beal tour for SACOG committee leadership and also Placer County, predominantly Placer County SACOG representatives, continuing the effort to ensure that leaders in the region understand the importance of Beal to both our national security and our regional economy. To make sure everyone's on board for infrastructure and housing projects to support the base. As well as other advocacy that we might need to do for the base. I think the feedback I'm receiving from the second tour and is very, very positive. A lot of people in the region have no idea what Beal does and the importance of their mission to the nation. And so that's very important. Third, Supervisor Fuhr and I will be representing Yuba County at the National Association of Counties Conference that'll be this Thursday through Tuesday. So that's it.
Well, it's tough to follow, so I'm just going to promote the Marysville Peach Pub Crawl hosted by the Marysville Youth Shooting Sports Boosters Club. The Thursday night of the Peach Festival. See me for tickets. I know Kevin Perkins is going to buy a bunch of them. This year, grand prize is a pistol, well, .380 pistol. Second prize, $100. Don't need to be present to win. There's lots of raffle prizes, so. Hopefully you guys can all make it and support the Marysville Youth Shooting Sports Boosters Club. Saturday morning of the Peach Festival will be the Marysville FFA Peaches and Pancake Breakfast at the Silver Dollar. I may or may not be down there flipping pancakes. That's it. I'm going to pass on anything else.
I have found a new career as a tour guide. The Chinese delegation had a great time. All of our hosts were wonderful, and things went really well. And I'm going to be giving another tour tomorrow of Olivehurst, animal control, our fire department, that covers part of my district in West Linda, as well as the airport and the industrial park. So good stuff. So we're excited about all this stuff in Olive Hearst and being able to show it off. I will be leaving, and so I'll be missing our next meeting. So you will not have the pleasure and joy of the best chair ever. I know, regrets all around. All right, and I think we're going to go to close. I'm sorry, I'm going to ask other people if they would like to give any cool reports.
Nothing here.
Yes, if I could. So first off, and it was mentioned in the item with the Feather River setback levy area, the Supreme Court has weighed in on the Grants Pass decision, which had been problematic for jurisdictions to be able to enforce no camping in public areas. So it provided some clarity there. And I'm not sure if the board, Jeremy, am I putting you on the spot? A little bit? A little bit? Okay. But it may be good just to kind of refresh the board's memory. We do have a lot of rules in place related to no camping in public places, but I believe this will help the county continue doing what it's doing. And
Hey, good morning. Yeah, so I was on vacation last week. I had sent Kevin an article from the SAC-B, so I don't have anything formally prepared for you, but I did print off something from the Supreme Court. As you're aware, there's been some bad, maybe arguably bad case law that's come from the Ninth Circuit regarding a case Martin versus City of Boise, and then again with City of Grants Pass that kind of furthered that. So the Supreme Court did make a ruling 6-3 to reverse the Ninth Circuit's opinion, which would kind of open up some additional enforcement. What I had mentioned to Kevin is I think that we have a very good program here in Yuba County. As you're aware, we've both counties, Sutter and Yuba, adopted very similar ordinances. I think that Yuba County probably leads in our ability for outreach and enforcement. And so, not sure how this is going to have an impact on us at this point, but it seems to be a good ruling from the Supreme Court of the United States. So, how'd I do, Kevin? Did I?
Yeah. No, thank you, Jeremy. I just wanted to make sure the board was aware of that. The other one, just to put on the board's radar, the county has been actively meeting with the city of Marysville since the June 15th, 16th fire at the Marysville Hotel, trying to lend a hand there, through between OES and Public Works and Health and Human Services, wherever we can lend a hand. So that'll continue. If the board reads the Appeal Democrat, you'll see there was an article today that kind of outlines what the city has been doing as far as going to court and trying to kind of establish a process to abate the issue.
Mary?
Let me ask, they're requesting financial assistance, I assume, and I think it's important to give oversight on that financial assistance because we've pretty much thrown good money after bad. Had problems in Marysville.
Yeah, comment noted. There's been no formal request from the city for financial assistance, but as you'll see in the newspaper article today, it's in the millions of dollars to abate that issue if they're not successful with getting the property owner to abate the issue. And I'm not sure if the city is going to be in a position to front that kind of money. So it's good to put on the board's radar as well.
Oversight will be needed. Yeah.
All right. And with that, we will adjourn to closed session.
10-minute recess, please.
And you can have a 6-minute recess.
Thank you.
I didn't give you a hard
Yuba-Sutter.live's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self-Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com. Pick your time to attend the Marysville Peach Festival. It's happening Friday, July 19th and Saturday, July 20th in downtown Marysville. You'll find your old favorites like cobbler and pies, peaches and cream, fresh peaches locally grown, and fruit to take home and eat. Fun for kids and big kids. A City of Marysville event kept moving by Recology, Waste Zero, Yuba County, Say Yes to Yuba, and by Sutter Health, Exceptional Care Never Stops. The 24th Marysville Peach Festival, happening Friday, July 19th and Saturday, July 20th in downtown Marysville. A City of Marysville event.
Hi, I'm Neil Goforth of Comfort Keepers of Yuba-Sutter and Nevada counties. Caring for elders or even yourself has challenges. Comfort Keepers of Yuba-Sutter and Nevada counties can help you address today's issues and plan for tomorrow with in-home and specialized care for you or your family members. Call us at 530-749-8800. Comfort Keepers of Yuba-Sutter and Nevada counties.